Cool. So last class we learn about the routing. So how we can achieve the routing in React.js. Okay. And for that first we install that React router DOM. See, you can see over here. First what we did. So npm I React router DOM we did. Okay. Like npm I React router DOM. Okay. After that, so you can check once you install it, React Router DOM came here. So latest version is 6. Currently, React Router means V6 version is going on. So we'll learn about the V5 and V4. We will take in some different project. First, we will take the V5 also, and if I get chance, then we will learn about V4 also. But as of now, this is V6. Okay, so we'll take the example how it's working, and first we'll do the configuration. We already did, but we'll go through one more time. So first of all, we need few things like browse router, route and routes from React router DOM. So we will import these things first. Okay, after that, what we will do, we will wrap up our all component with browse router, and we will create multiple routes depend on our requirement, right? So we will keep inside all the routing routes, and inside that we will create multiple routes. Like here on a slash we are routing to the custom form. On assignment we were writing to the assignment. Here on path list we were routing to the list. Here login we were writing to the login. Cool. We were doing that. Okay. So now we were doing that, like we were defining that path here. But how we will change one route to multiple route? Like here, if you go or manually, if you write list. Okay. So on slash list, you have given the component. Which component will open? List component will open. So list component, you have created this. Okay. So you want to open this list. So it's as of now it's working, but I do not want to do it manually. I want to do it by like on click or something, right? In proper way, because people didn't know like which route, which file will open. So you have to give in such a way that people will, you have to give an option that people will click and go to the component. So like if you click on assignment, it will go to the assignment. If you click on list, it will go to the list. So basically what we were doing, if you go to the custom form. Okay, so first of all, for the routing, for navigation, what we need, because as we are using React router 6. So here we use navigate. We will get it from where? React router DOM. Okay, we'll get it from React router DOM use navigate, and we will create one history is equal to use navigate. We will call this function, we will store in that history. And wherever we want, like if you go over history, somewhere we have created two functions like handle route and handle assignment route. So you can check over here. So we have created history, and we were passing the path. If you whichever the path you will pass, it will open the dat file only. It will push to that file only. So like if you are clicking on here, right? So history slash what is the list we were passing. So it will go into the list page. So at least we know how we can define that, and how we can switch the route between. Okay, one more minute. Very rapid. Yes. So as of now we know how to define the route. First of all, what you will do like the route. Inside the route, two things: path and element. Path will be your whatever things you are giving inside the URL, what are the name you are giving, that path, whatever the path, like after localhost 3000 slash whatever the path you want to give on the particular path, this will open. So this is the path, and on this particular path which component will open, so that is an element, this will open. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we know. Okay, so now we learn about the React routing. Okay, so today we will learn about that some more hooks called use effect, and we will also try to learn about the how we can call API. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, what we need for get starting with the API, we need some library to call the API. Okay, React has the default one called fetch, but we will use axios. So first install this, or else if you want to do it here, just do it. Both are the terminal only. Either if you will open here or here, but make sure you are in same path like user sanu my app, user sanu my app. Okay, so either you can do it here or here. So let's npmi axios. Okay, I means install. So it will take a few minutes, not even few minutes. Yeah, done. So now we will restart npm start. Okay, starting the development shower. Okay, so what we will do meanwhile we'll learn about that React like a cycle method. So every every component has their own life cycle. Even you have the life cycle. Like if early morning you are working off, then you are doing the classes, and then you are going to your office, then you came and having your dinner. There are multiple things you are doing a day, but some of the activity you are repeating every day. That is your life cycle, right? So every day you are waking up at some a certain time, then you are doing some certain things, right? So if same like the component has also their life cycle methods. If you go to the previous like a class based component, so there we'll show you the first React life cycle method. We will teach you in detail, but as of now only for learning purpose. Okay, cool. See, open this image in new window. No, new tab. Okay, okay. So now you can see my screen, right? Eh, am I audible?
Yes.
1 minute. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, bhai.
Okay, okay, okay. So now you can see. So there's some method, or like you can see on my screen, like mounting, updating, unmounting, right? Something three main thing you can see over it. Here. So like when you're using the class-based component, right? So there are three phase. Even all the component has the three phase, but mostly this life cycle depends on 1 minute. Yeah, life cycle depend on class-based component. We'll teach you the for the functional first, then we will go to the class-based component later. Once at least we get some 1 minute. This is not what we are looking at. Open it. Hmm, cool. Okay, you can see like mounting, update, unmounting, and initialization, right? So React has few things, few lifecycle method, like you can say three lifecycle method. One is mounting, one is updating, and one is unmounting, right? So first of all, see if you are loading any page, okay, so you can say before render, like before mounting, there is one state like before mounting, okay. Other state is So you can see over here, like there is a one process called loading, right? There, while doing this, there is a process called loading. Like if you restart your things, okay, so there is a process called loading, that is only mounting things. Okay, after that if you do any changes, right, like here you are doing something, something and something, right? After that you want to update something, correct? Once you click here, then one pop-up will open, some API will call something, something you are doing after load, right? So that is one a stage called update. Okay, if you have some pop-up is open, then you're closing, or they are closing this entire application, that's come in the unmounting. Okay, so here unmounting. So if you in a mounting, in class based component, we have component will mount, means before render. Will mount means just before the render, like while I'm going to restart and uh, it's a starting, right? Before starting, right, there is a method called component will mount. Okay, so that first component will mount function will call, then render, then component did mount. Okay, so first what will open? Component will mount, render, component did mount. Cool. So like first one function will call, like see here, when you are clicking on something, that function is calling. Okay, but here also you are once you are clicking on that button, then one function is calling, then it's switching to other route. Okay, but what I want, like without clicking on that, is there any function that that used to call, right? Some of the things without clicking I want, okay, I want to call API. Without clicking I want all the data. How it possible? So for that there are some life cycle method. Like before first function one, there are one function that will call before loading that page. Second function is uh, just after load the page. Okay, so that is the route mounting things. In update, what you will check will come on this, like component, so component will receive props, that is like different thing will come on this. Okay, so component should update like this one only. So there are two ways, like parent child concept, so will come on this later. So as of now what you have to understand, like first of all, while updating, right, while updating there is one method called should component update. Means it will ask, it will give, it will ask like if you give true or for permission, then only it will call, like either you want to update or not. See, component should update or not. If you give false, it will not update. If you give like okay, if there are changes are updated, it's it work as a kind of boolean things. True, it will give true and false value. Should component update. After that, again before updating the page, like in the process of update, that time one function will call, that is called component will update, then render component did update. Means in easy language you can say, before while mounting, like while loading the page, there are two methods used to call. One before the loading, like this before loading, just before the loading. Second is just after the loading, component will mount, component did mount. Okay, cool. So while updating, again component will mount and component did mount, two things it will call. So as of now I need that much only. Cool. So now first of all I have already installed this axios thing. Okay, now we'll create some. Okay, product dot js, or you can write JS6. See, even the icon is getting changed, right? If you give JS, it will work extension. If you give it JS, then it's showing the extension JS. But if you give JS6, that that is coming as a React icon. Okay, cool. So first of all, now we, okay, okay. So first of all, import React from React, then const product. Okay, cool. RETU RM, give div. Here you can give this is product page. Here you can give sport default product. Okay, now our product page is ready. I will create one route. So how we will add the route? The route will give path as product element. Okay, cool. Like that we will create the product. Now we will as of now we'll go to the go manually. Okay, so we'll come here, write slash product. Okay, so it's showing this is product page. Cool. So now we'll go to the product page, and first of all we'll understand like, okay, that life cycle method we learn it, that is in class component. So what is in functional component? So basically in functional component, see, this is also a function, right? Before in class component also we used to call the functional component. This is nothing but one function. Either you can write a function called like sum, multiply. That is also one function. So these all are very similar. Like you are creating one function, exporting the function. Nothing related to React. But what we were getting from React is like some hooks, some different kind of hooks. Like we use like user state, another also, right? Okay, so today we know how we use state to get storing the data or to get achieving the state functionality, right? So basically in functional component there is nothing called state and lifecycle method. It's all about the class component. In class component you will get the state and lifecycle method. But the going forward, right? Like version 6.8, the new concept come hooks. Okay, React hooks that give privilege, that give liberty to use a state and life cycle method in functional component with the help of hooks. Hooks provide some hook, some certain feature like use state, use effect, this kind of hooks. So with the help of that we can achieve either a life cycle method or a state thing. So okay, so we'll use that only. We know about the use state. So today we learn about the use effect also. Okay, cool. So first of all, we'll have to call some APIs. So we'll check out some fake APIs. Okay, we'll check is there any product user is there. Okay, some product, add new product, uh, get all product. Okay, show the output. So once you call this API, right? Okay, so what the meaning of API? First of all, what's the meaning of API? Why we are using this? Okay, so basically, so some of the data you are storing over here. If you go in the list, okay, if you go in the list, you can check around 10 data you are storing in your like stuff data. These are like hard coded data you are using in your component itself. What will happen if I want your system data? I want some other country's data, right? I want the Amazon's detail, Amazon data, right? So how it's possible? See, so this is in my system, so we can get it access by the proper path or the variable, right? But if some data is in other system, right, other computer, right, how we will access? Either it's on cloud. This is also cloud is also on somewhere it is stored, right? So that is also on some storage. So how will get it that? So there is a method called, okay, application programming interface, API. So that give you like you have to give proper path, proper address. Like if you go over here, so like these are the data hosted over like fake a store API.com, and there we have given the path called product. So that is the backend things will come on later, but as of now we have to address that this is the URL, this is the address, you will get the list of datas. Okay, so that is the address of that computer where the data is stored. If you call this API, if you call this address, you will get some data. As of now you need to know this only. Okay, so this is the address. If you call, you will get the data. So let's see either it's working over here or not. See, so once you call, you get around some data, like some list of data you got, right? So the same API we will use. Same API we will use. So here they use fetch. What we will use? We will use some other library called axios. So we already installed. So how we will check this is installed or not? So we'll go in packet.json. We'll check each axios installed. Yes. Even it's showing you 5 minutes ago. Okay. You change. Okay, so now we'll go to the product.js. So first of all, what we need import axios from axios. Okay, after that, cool, we'll create some state for the storing the data. Okay, cool. So first of all, we'll create one store called product list. Not like this. Product list comma set product list, and initial things we will give. How we will create that state? By use state. So where it's come from? It will come from the it will get it from React, and initial value we will give the empty array. Like we are assuming that the data will be like in array format, like multiple variable stored in a one variable. Okay, so here now we will use some use effect. If you click over here, so you can see use effect also coming from React. Cool. So in use effect, this is use effect. It take two things. One is first is a function, second is a one dependencies array. We'll check. So here you can see it will take one function first. See, this is one function, like how we use map. Like same thing. After that, one dependency array, comma, one dependency array. Okay. Let's console it. Console.log inside the first use effect. Cool. We'll check. We'll go here, inspect it, console, refresh the page. So what is telling? Inside the first use effect. Okay, we'll create one more. Cool. So if you check our refresh it, you can check our here, like inside the first use effect, inside the second use effect. Okay, console dot log new date. Hopefully it should work. We want to show you something. Cool. So it's not taking that much time, like it we didn't have data to load or something, so it's coming on same time. But after that, so what is happening? Once the this component will render, right? So first of all it will come, it will call this use effect, then this use effect. So like how it all calling in here, right? Yeah, like first, while calling this update or mounting, component will mount, render component did mount. In same way, we come over here. So we use to. So without clicking or something, see some of the function we have created right here. Some of the function also we have created, but that function will call on some event based on sub event. Like some once the event will fire or trigger, then it will call. But this this is life cycle method, right? We can achieve will mount, did mount, these all thing with the help of user state. So these are the life cycle method. Once the page will load, this function will also call. That is the main purpose of using the life cycle method. So here you can see without clicking or anything, while loading the page, it will call this thing. Okay, cool. So we can see we can use two, three as many you want. Like mostly use like depend on your requirement only. So we can check here. This function is calling after or while updating the page, while loading or while rendering the page. Okay, cool. So what I want to create one function const get product data. Product data. Cool. So what product data will do? Product data will call the API. So what is the way of calling the API? So first of all, we'll call the axios. Okay. Axios has some method. Okay, cool. So there is a concept of CRUD. Okay. C for create. R for either you can say retrieve is the best way, best like proper things, but I can say read also. Retrieve or read means getting the data or reading the data. Cool. U for update. Okay. D for delete. Okay. So suppose I have one form, right? I have one list of a student. So either what you can do, either you can create new student list. Okay. Second thing, you will get all the list. That is called read. Third thing, suppose there is a student called Gaurav, right? That name is Gaurav Singh, right? But I want to change to Gaurav Sharma. So how you will do? So you will update that. Okay. So the same thing you will update Singh to Sharma. So that is come under the update, right? And if you want to delete Gaurav, just use delete. So what are the method we use? These are the form, right? Short form of this. So what are the method you are getting, right? So for creating that, you will use post method. Post method. For reading that, you will use get method, because if you need something from somewhere, what you will do? You will get it from somewhere, right? If you ask for, okay, give me some snacks or some breakfast, so what you will do? You will get it from some outside food vendor shops. So that is the get method. Okay, cool. Okay, other thing is update. So there is a update method, two things. One is put, one is patch. Put, patch. Okay, other thing is delete. Okay, so if you want to delete anything, so how you will do? Axios dot delete. If you want to update something, how you will do? Axios dot put update something. If you want to get something, axios dot get. If you want to add something, right, then axios dot post. Okay, we'll use this method here. Okay, so as of now, what we need to get this data. We need to get this data. So which method we will apply? Axios dot see axios dot get. Okay, after that we will use this API URL. This is the URL. We'll use same URL. I think image also here, right? Yeah, image is also here. Cool. Okay, so axios dot get this URL. I am getting the data from this URL. Okay, cool. So here one more thing we are going to learn about. Without learning, we are going to use promises, but just understand the things like when this API will successfully call, then it will come in then, or else it will come in dot catch. There are two things. What are the two things? Suppose you are calling this API, so there will some result. Either this will show the data, or else show this something went wrong or something. Some of the message also came, right? You didn't know. So how will come to know like it's working or not? So there are two things. While calling this API, if it is successful, then it will come in then, or if it is a failure, it will come in catch. So in successful, like if you give any game name you can give, I am giving response. You can give proper response also. I'm giving the sort will console.log and erase.data. I'll do that. If it's an error, console.log error. So it will get to know what the error are. Okay, so if you want to, okay, we'll check one more time. So now if we refresh this page, nothing is happening. If you want to check either it is working or not, do console.log inside API call. Okay, refresh the page. That inside API call is not working. Why? Because you have created this function. So you have to call this function where you want to call. Here, like some form was there, right? Custom form. Okay. Here you have created some function, either this function, or some other handle submit function, or some handle email change function. So you have created this function, but you are calling this function on some event, right? Where you are calling this function, just check it. So you are calling on input on change, or there is one button, right? Handle submit you are calling on click of the button. But in your case, don't save it. Yeah. In your case, go to the product, how we control P product. If you are not able to search, just do it. Okay. We have created this function, but where I want to call this function. So I do not want to click on some button or something. So I want to call this function like while loading the page itself. I want to do it by like it will call automatically, right? We do not want to like while loading the page, we want to show all the user data or product data. So we will call this function in some life cycle method. Okay, if you're going market, right? Okay, if you're going market, then I'll okay. We are going to bring some your need things, right? So bring me also, bring my stuff also. So we will call this function inside the lifecycle method. Okay, inside the lifecycle method. So what will happen? It will come one time while loading the page. So let's see. So first of all, it's saying inside the API call. Okay, so while loading the page, the use effect function will call. If this function will call, this is the part of lifecycle method. So while loading the page, it will call. So inside that, we were using this product data. So first it is coming in inside the API data, and then it calling the API. After that, if it is successful, it's printing the data. So line number, if we check 15, line number 15, on line number 15, we have console.log. So where you will check this API is calling or not. So we will go. So here the console things are coming. Whatever the console you have given, it will print over here. But there is one more thing called network. So if you we refresh this, so you can see you are calling the API. So you will click on fetch and XHR, you will get inside the header whatever the URL you have given, requested URL is this, method is 200 means successful. Sorry, method here request method is get, and a status code it is 200. Okay, so if you are getting 200 means it successfully loaded the page, loaded the data. Now you can see we have 29, I think 20 data. So with the help of 20 data, we will create some UI. So as of now, we can see this data is present inside this function. So there is one more thing, local scope, local scope and global scope in JavaScript. JavaScript scope. Okay. One is two things. First of all, two things you have to learn: local scope and global scope. We will come to the function scope and block level scope. So local scope is this what? Variable declared within the JavaScript function become local of that function, right? Okay. If you are cooking something in your home, right? So that is your local, right? You will get only in, like suppose Divakar is just staying in PG, right? Okay, PG owner giving food. Okay, that is available for everyone. So that food is global. Okay, either Divakar can also have, Rahul can also have, and Sanjeev can also have. But if Neeraj, right, is cooking some extra food in his room, that is local. That's belong to him. Other people can't eat because that is on local thing. That is local of Neeraj function, right? Inside the Neeraj function, inside the Neeraj home, he is cooking something. So that is the local for Neeraj, but it will not get it from, like Avinash can't get it, right? If Mayank is cooking something, Divakar can't get. So if you want, like if someone will get that, you have to cook like how PG owner is cooking for all. So same thing, if you check over here, if you create any variable globally, right? See, this is a function, right? If you declare any variable over here, let data set is equal to 30. Okay, so this is inside this function. So this is local to this function. If you look, if you search for, if you are here console dot log and check for the data set, it will give error. What error? Data set is not defined. Means, okay, means like if you go over here, so you are declaring this function, declaring this variable inside the get product function, and you where you are checking outside of that, how will get it? So basically, how we are doing that? If you come over here, so like let's understand the thing first. So like Rahul is cooking chicken, right, or something, some of the good food he is making. So you check, okay, so you got the summer spell and you start asking to your owner, like I want chicken. So we'll give, no, chicken is not present in PG. This is not in menu today. So that error is still coming here also. That data set is not present. But if you go in Rahul room, like this is the get product room, and here if you search here, then you will get it too, right? Here they see 30 is coming, right? So the main thing, how we will make anything globally, how you can make it anything locally, right? So we have to understand the things. So which one is global, which one, so like create one function, sorry, create one variable where name is equal to Manoj. Okay, so this name is global. This is not in any function. Either you can use here also inside the return is also one function. We are using parenthesis, right? This is a function. You are using parenthesis, right? This is a function. Okay, you are using this parenthesis, this is the function. Okay, so either you can use this name inside this block. This is also one block, local block. This is also one block. This is also one block. So variable called name you can access anywhere because you have declared it globally, right? Within the component, you have to declare it globally. So you can access anywhere. So same thing, if you're calling this API, data is coming inside this. If you check even outside of this, right? See, what we will do, console.log, we will do res.data. Let's check. The same issue will come. Res is not defined because res is defined inside this function. Even if you call outside of this function, it will not. It will give issue. See, if you click, see inside the same function, but inside the same function there is two things, then and catch. If you click, if you call here also, na, it will give issue. Same issues. So where it's available inside then function, not even in the get product things. So how we are calling the API, we are getting the data. We have at least 20 data. But how you will use here, because you have to show it here, right? Any HTML thing, any HTML activity where you will do it here. So how you will do that? So you have to first store somewhere that will be the globally available app in, sorry, in component. So that's why we have created one, a state. So a state will be available here also, and here also, right? So we have the state. Now what we'll do after getting the response, if this dot data is present, then what we will do, we will save this data, we will push the data inside the product list. So how we can change the product list value? There is a one more function we have declared. This is a state, this is the function which will change the value of a state. So we will go here and we'll set the data is equal to rest data. Now the rest data is not available, but if you check inside the console, so you can directly log to sort log, and this one it will get the console log. So now you can check the product list. So first give some a string, so we'll get, oh, see, now you can check, clear it and do it one more time. See, line number 27, line number 27, here you are getting the data. Now you are getting the data because you after calling this function, you're getting the successful response and data is inside the rest.data. Then you are setting this data inside that function, inside the state called product list. Now if you want to use it, you can use over here. Okay, so now we have around 20 data. See, inside the 20 data there are few things that we will learn uh, tomorrow, right? I know tomorrow is a weekend, but we have to complete this. We will connect for 30 minutes around, not if you, people will agree, then otherwise any time in a day or evening we can connect and work on this. Okay, cool. It's already 1 hour. Okay, everyone. So at least you know how we can get data from API. Like what is means, like it is a store somewhere, right? So some other machine, its data is stored, right? Either on cloud, AWS, Azure, or some other person laptop, right? So you have to access that data. We'll use the API, okay, application program interface. So that provide one URL. With the help of the URL, we will hit that URL, we'll get the response, and we will save the data. So as of now, we know this much. We also learned about the global scope and local scope. Okay, we also know about the lifecycle method of React. In class component, there are multiple lifecycle things, but main thing is mounting, unmounting, and update. Okay, here we were doing all the things with the help of use effect only, and use effect take two things. One is the function till here, and other is dependencies array. We'll let you know what's the use of dependencies array. As of now, we need to know, like, while suppose we have to call this function without clicking anything, like without firing an event, or without triggering any event. So we called this in lifecycle method. Use of state, use effect is lifecycle method, and from where it we are getting it, we are getting it from React. Okay, hope you get some at least around 20 to 30% of this. Clear? Anyone have doubts? Rahul, you're saying something?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay then. Tomorrow we'll discuss if all the people will agree. Then either we'll take it some in evening or somewhere sometime, and we'll finish it this. Okay. Okay. Thanks for joining, everyone. We'll share you the code and the video of this. Okay, recorded video. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.